All right. Cool. So guys, this is Blue Chip Athletic Club webinar number 2. And today is the 30th of August, 2023. I'm traveling out in New Jersey right now, visiting the in-laws. So sorry if this time didn't work for you guys, but my day is already 9 o'clock and I'm tired because I'm old. So we're gonna get this thing going. In the future, I'd like to do like a coaching check-in with anybody who's on here live. Sky is the only one that I see in the page right now. Everybody else I sent personal text to. So if you feel called out, just know that you are being called out. Be on these. It's really helpful for our community and for me to get a face-to-face check-in with you to see how you're doing, and if you have any questions or any way that I can help you. So please make sure that you try and make these when you can, and then watch the recordings if you can't make it. So I got a couple of questions this week from people that I'm going to kind of address, and I'll start with that, and then I'm going to go into a little bit of my coaching spiel for the program moving forward and ways that we can kind of improve as a team. So supplements, the first question I got was about supplementation, what to take and why, and getting like clean energy in a workout. So full disclosure, I do take supplements myself. And I'm going to talk about kind of why and the reason for that. So supplements in general are used to augment or to help supplement your diet and or nutrition so that you're able to reach some sort of basic goal. So let's say, for example, that you are living in prehistoric America and you are in a place where there's no meat around anywhere around you, and you're literally eating like plants and berries and vegetables that you're going from the earth, and for some reason you're not getting any protein. Well, before you used to have to say fuck it and suck it up and eat just all these plants, berries, etc. But nowadays you can supplement that with something like a protein shake. Super easy to do. Go put a bit of powder into a bottle, shake it up, and then you're good to go. You can get your 25 or so grams of protein in a quick hit just like that. So what I'll say about supplementation in general is, like, I want you to understand the reason for the supplement, not just blindly taking the supplement and using it in your day-to-day life. So for me, I really, really heavily tracked my macros, and I'm going to put a pin in this discussion also about macro tracking. So don't let me forget Sky, excuse me, to come back and chat with everybody about that. But I heavily tracked my macros before I decided to start to supplement. And I basically found that if I'm able to take a double dose of a protein shake, so essentially 50 grams of protein a day, I'm able to hit my protein goal in my macros. For everybody, that's not going to be the same. For somebody who weighs 120 pounds, they may be able to eat a couple pieces of chicken and boom, they're hitting their protein intake goal. But for me, I'm about 200 pounds. My protein goal is about 200 grams a day, and it's really hard based on what I eat to be able to hit that goal. So for me, I need to take either a double and sometimes even a triple scoop of protein in a day so that I'm able to hit my protein goal. And I use a form of protein called isopure, and it's a 0-carb protein that I take. And for me, I found that it's really easy to go down with water. It tastes really good, and it's super clean. So I can send a link out to that for that if anybody's interested. As far as pre-workouts are concerned, I do take we'll call it pre-workout. It's not really pre-workout though. It's a BCAA version of that. So it's called Amino Energy BCAA supplement. And essentially what it is giving you amino acids and a little bit of caffeine before your workout. So for me, I'll take that. I'll basically, probably shouldn't be saying this and doing this, but I take the scooper and basically just dry scoop 1 or 2 scoops to the dome, put a little water in my mouth, swish it out, and then swallow. So for me, I do that right at the beginning of the workout, and I find that It's a good clean energy source. I'm not taking like Jack 3D and fucking my face feels like it's gonna jump out of my face. Some people I know myself in the past have done stuff like that, and I find that those pre-workouts make me feel super jittery or I crash. The BCAAs are really clean. Your body needs them to help recover, so I found that those really help. And I take a watermelon flavor that, again, I can throw in a chat or in a maybe I'll throw it in the post when I throw this video up too, so everybody kind of has a link to those. Those are pretty much the only supplements I take besides AG1, which is like the new athletic greens. I take those because it's got a ton of probiotics. It's got a ton of fruits and vegetables in there. It basically just helps regulate your gut health, and really helps to promote like regular bowel movements. Pooping is important, and all these other like on the we'll call micro scale of your gut health to really help promote a lot of really healthy bodily functions. So in the event that I'm traveling like I am right now out on the East Coast, I'm able to just rip a pack of athletic greens if I'm not going to get all of my veggies up for the day, and I'm still good to go. And I'm not taking days off or missing days just because I have that with me. But that's pretty much it. I'd make maybe a little bit of creatine every once in a while too. And again, that's one of the most proven supplements ever. I could go on for almost a whole episode about supplementation, but if anybody has any more questions, we can talk more about those in another episode. Other thing I'm going to chat about today is your target heart rate during a workout. There's another question I got. So what I'll say is that for us to understand the target heart rate, the biggest key is understanding what the goal of the workout is and what your own body goals are and what your body type is. So sometimes I'll throw in our workouts, and some of you may have seen this already, that the goal is to load. The goal is a straight loading day. So for me, I'm going to pick up, like, if I walk up to a rack of dumbbells, hypothetically, is in front of me, and I'm like, oh, usually when I do an overhead press, I grab a 30-pound dumbbell. Well, if it's a loading day and I know I'm doing 3 reps instead of 8 reps, I'm going to grab a 45-pound dumbbell. So the thoughts are when you're loading heavier, you're going to pick up a heavier weight. Therefore, typically the sets are going to be fewer reps and you're going to have a lower heart rate when you're working. But in the event that the whole point of the workout, and I'm sure you guys have seen this as well, is to get your heart rate up as well as work that muscular fatigue and hypertrophy, then you may end up seeing your heart rate go up into like that we'll call HIIT style range, where you're getting up to like 80-90% of your max heart rate. These types of things will also depend on your body type. So for me, I'm going to explain 2 different types of body types through my own lens, and then hopefully you'll be able to kind of morph your training a little bit moving forward into these 2. So we'll just essentially, I'm going to simplify this down. So there's 2 different buckets of people. There's bucket A, which those are people like me that are endomorphs. And an endomorph is a type of person that essentially, if you stopped training, you stopped working out, you stopped doing whatever you're doing, you would be on the heavier side. You would gain more weight. You would be a heavier person. You're somebody who finds that if you lift really heavy, you can put weight on easier than you can shed it off. I don't want to say like you're the fat kid, but I was a heavier, not like a super fat kid, but I was somebody who found that for me, when I was growing up, that it was easier for me to be heavier than it was for me to be super lean. The other bucket we'll call an ectomorph. So the ectomorph is somebody who is like the beanpole kid that struggles to put weight on. There's somebody who like, hey man, I've always been 110 pounds and I would literally love to be 130 pounds, but there's no way my body can do it. I eat, and there's nothing I can do, and I'm not putting any weight on. So also fuck those guys. Sorry. But in general, when we classify people in these 2 buckets, what we have to do is we have to cater the training program to what their goals are. So if my goal personally is to be somebody who has to have a higher heart rate and therefore have a more cardiovascular based hit style workout, we'll call it, for me to reach my goal of being slightly on the leaner side, then I need to be targeting a higher heart rate in the working sets. But if I'm somebody who is really, really lean already and I'm trying to put on a little bit of mass, I'm trying to gain a little bit of weight, I'm trying to build some muscle, then maybe instead of in that hit workout, you grabbing the really light weights that you can toss around a million times, you grab the slightly heavier weights and you change the rep count, you change your heart rate that's being targeted in the workout to be more closer to 60% to 70% of your max versus 80 to 90% of your max heart rate. Again, if anybody has any questions about those two types of people, and I generalize these two completely, everybody is probably some mold of both. But if anybody has any particular questions about their training program and which bucket I feel that you probably fit into and the way that you should start to mold your workouts, please feel free to shoot me a text or call and we can chat about it. In relation to that, I know I said I will put a pin in the conversation about macros, but I just want to put a huge plug out there for understanding macros and a new term for you to kind of think about, as well as a calculator that we're going to start to use here in the program. So the new term that we're going to start to use in general is going to be called your total daily energy expenditure, or TDEE for short. I know those military guys love their acronyms. Apparently the health and wellness guys do too. So it's not just us. And this number is essentially going to take into account your height, your weight, your gender, your age, and give you a number of which calories you'll typically burn in a day. So let's say, Sally is, 5'2" and 120 pounds and a female, and she is moderately active, is going to give me, boom, this is the amount of calories for her to have a maintenance caloric intake, AKA after all is said and done in the day, when she works out 3 times a week, this is what she needs to eat for her to not gain weight or lose weight in her programming. The software will then also give you one for in a cut or in a bulk, and also change based on your activity level. So if somebody works out 0 and is sedentary and they sit at an office all day, or if somebody's a crazy athlete and they're doing 2 a days, it's going to help change the dimension for that. Hang on, sorry. Getting a little dry here because it's just me talking, sorry. It'll help change your caloric burn in those dimensions, as well as based on your height, weight, and gender, to give you a number. And that number is what we're going to try and use to be able to build your macronutrient program more effectively in MyFitnessPal, and then when we talk about them in the weekly check-in forms. Weekly check-in forms, thank you guys for doing those. The first round has gone out. I've given feedback on those. If you have not gotten feedback on those, shoot me a text right away, and I will be sure to do that for you as soon as I can. But tracking your macronutrients is going to be super, super important for us, because in the event that we're, working all this way in the gym, we're putting forth all this effort, we're doing burpees, we're doing skier swings, we're doing bent over rows, we're really maximizing that time. But if we don't understand how the food component is coming into it, and it's not giving us a piece of the equation for our body's recovery, our ability to perform the next day, all of these things are just pieces of the pie that we're missing out on, and we're delaying the progress that we could make. So please, 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 I implore all of you, track your macros, talk to me about questions that you have. If you don't understand something, I'm a call, a phone, a text, a FaceTime away. And I'd love to chat with you guys, all things fitness and wellness and macronutrients at any time. So please, please, please make sure you reach out. The last thing I kind of want to say for a general note is that a lot of you guys have been completing workouts in TrueCoach, and it's been great. And some of you guys have been adding comments and adding things in there as well. Another thing that I'm going to start incorporating with everybody is that when you complete a workout, or during your workout as well, I would like you to send me 1 or 2 form videos of you in the workout. So whether that's you set your phone down during your last set and you record yourself doing a deadlift, or you say, hey, I'm doing a bodyweight squat or a lateral lunge or something like that. Because I'm not there to see and to train you and train with you, it's really hard for me to know if we're maximizing range of motion, if we're maximizing our form, if we're using the correct cues in our body where our core is engaged, or our, you know, we're exercising the mobility flow properly and we're able to actually bend down, or we need to give our knees a slight bend so that we can adjust. So when you guys do the workouts, again, 1 to 2 form videos per workout. I'm telling you, at first it's going to be a little bit monotonous. I promise it's way more work for me, but it's something that I want to offer to you guys because I think right away, I think if we can start to hammer out all of the form in a super direct manner and we're able to really optimize the way that we're doing the exercises, you're going to start to see your progress really start to boom. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, to help you meet your goals. I've been rambling on a lot. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Sky, for hopping on the call. If you have any more final questions, I know we just chatted on the phone, feel free to shoot me a call or text. And for everybody else, get on these as much as you can. This is our opportunity to touch base, for you to ask questions, for us to really go over things that are going to help you be successful in the program. So as I said before, if you have any questions, concerns, or want to shoot out a topic to me, feel free to do that. And Sky, let me know if I answered all those questions for you. You can even, unmute yourself and let me know if those kind of hit on your supplement and target heart rate kind of questions too.
Yeah, I would say you pretty much answered the supplement questions. I was just mostly thinking about like I don't take pre-workout, but I was just seeing kind of what your thoughts were on it. And then like the protein powder is good too. So
Cool. Yeah. So don't recommend people going out and getting Jack 3D and having your face feel like it's gonna jump off your face. But definitely a protein supplement if you have a good understanding of the macronutrients that you're getting in a way that you're not meeting that goal from all natural foods. I think it's really good for you to supplement with a protein source so that you're able to reach that number that we kind of determine is what you need to do. So again, that number for all of you is going to be about 0.7 to 1.0 grams per body weight, per pound of body weight. So I'm a 200-pound guy. I want to get about 200 grams of protein, plus or minus 30 grams or so. So let me know if you guys have any more questions, and we'll see you next week. Thanks. Later.